And welcome to your mini quiche practical. I've started off before I begin by spraying down my work surface and using a dishcloth to clean that. You will see that I am also wearing an apron. I've washed my hands, and if you have long hair, make sure that is tied back. So before you begin, you will have about 10 minutes to organise your equipment and your ingredients. This is a really important step because it helps you to be organised throughout your practical. I'll talk you through the equipment first, and then we'll go through the ingredients. So I have a measuring jug, a rolling pin, a chopping board and a knife, a fork and a bun tray. You may need some additional equipment such as a frying pan depending on your how you adapt the recipe. And I forgot this, my lovely assistant has just handed me my cheese grater. In terms of your ingredients, you need to make sure that you have short crust pastry. So this is the famous brand, but it can be found in all supermarkets. But you need to make sure you're looking for the one that is short crust, which is usually in a blue packet. In terms of my ingredients, you will need 2 eggs. You will need milk. I'm using cream in this case, but you guys will have milk, which is provided by school. We have 100 grams of cheese. We have some salt and pepper for flavour, and then you can bring in some optional extras. I have some lovely roasted vegetables. Once you've preheated the oven, take your pastry out of the packet and unroll it, like so. And you then need to flour your work surface. This is an important step because it stops the pastry from sticking, but please make sure you do not over flour the surface or it will make your pastry dry. You then need to take a biscuit cutter, which is something I forgot to show you in the equipment, and you will see that it is actually quite a bit larger than the bun tray. This is to allow some of the pastry to go down the side, so it's for the depth of the pastry. Once you have done this step, you need to cut out the pastry. Please make sure you do this in an economically viable fashion, so you're kind of going to have the circles close together. So you're going to put on the cookie cutter and press down firmly, like so. And make sure you do this throughout the whole of the pastry sheet. Once you've done this, take your bun tray and carefully lift the pastry and place it into one of the rounds, one of the holes. When you do this, you need to tease it in using your fingers or thumbs. You do not want the pastry to tear or rip, so please make sure you're gentle. So once you have finished that, it will look like so. With the remaining pastry, please do not waste this. This can get squeezed and squashed back together and reused. So again, flour your work surface. You can flour your rolling pin, and then you are going to push away from yourself and turn in the dough so it doesn't stick, like so. When doing this stage, you need to make sure that the pastry is a similar thickness to the pastry that you've already used. It's about the thickness of a pound coin. Once it's rolled evenly, you can then go ahead and take the biscuit cutter and add this to your tray, like so. You will do that until all of the pastry has been used, and then put your used equipment over by your sink area, and then make sure that you clean down your work surface before you begin the next step. Now for the filling, you want to add your milk to the measuring jug. As I said earlier, I'm using cream. When you're measuring some liquid into a measuring jug, you need to have it on a flat surface, and that makes the liquid level, so you're getting an accurate measurement. So I'm going for 1/4 of a pint here. Like so. You then need to crack 2 eggs into this, tap them on the side, insert both thumbs into the crack and pull apart. Put in your rubbish in the bin as you go. And then take a fork, holding the side of the jug, to just mix those together, whisk those together until nicely combined. Like so. So depending on the filling that you have, you might need to use a frying pan and a wooden spoon to fry some ingredients, for example raw meat. Here I have diced some roasted vegetables, so I have a chopping board and a knife, and as you can see I've chopped them diced them into small pieces. As our quiches are mini, you want the ingredients to be nice and small so that each person gets a range of ingredients with every bite. So we're now going to assemble. So I've cleared my workspace. I'm going to bring back my tray. And I want to make sure that these are nice and even. So I'm going to start off by putting, you can use a spoon or fingers, which are nice and clean. It's entirely up to you. And you're going to fill each one of the cases like so, with a variety of different fillings. So I have courgette, pepper and onion here, so I'm making sure that each one is has got a combination of all those together. I'm going to take my grated cheese, sprinkle some of this in as well, pinch, and pour in my milk, in this case cream and egg mix, like so. You do not want to overfill these, so you're just doing them, as you can see, just below the pastry level. And please, before these goes into the oven, just use a dishcloth to just make sure the tray is nice and clean. This will make sure it's easier to wash up later. And once you've done that for all of the different mini quiches, these are ready to go into the oven. So please make sure you've got your oven gloves on, and you want to have the tray in landscape mode, like so that the door closes. So crouch down, gently open the oven door and place these hot air risers, so ideally on the top shelf if that's free, and then gently close the oven door. When you close the door, please make sure you check that the flame is still blue and burning, because often if you slam it shut, the flame can blow out, in which case your quiches would not cook. They will then go in the oven for 20 minutes and then they will be lovely. I'll come back to you in a second when I'm taking them out. So 20 minutes have now passed and I've been doing my washing up and making sure that my work surfaces are nice and clean. And I'm going to check my quiche. You are looking for them to be nice and golden on the pastry, and the cheese should be nice and melted and golden on top as well. So let's have a look, shall we? So crouch down, open the oven, and with your oven gloves, just making sure that your skin does not touch any of the door, etc. Look at those, eh? Yummy, yummy. Make sure you close the door gently and then put them onto your clear workspace. Keeping your oven glove on, one of your oven gloves on, is very important while you're still touching the tray, as this will remain hot for quite some time. And you want to take a spoon, and these will, you just tease the spoon around the outside while the butter is still hot. You should, she says, be able to remove them easily like so, and then they can go into your container and you can eat them later.